for the next 6 weeks. So we're going to share tips, tricks, and takeaways that are going to help take you guys to the next level on your social media game. And we're going to do it in a fun and awesome way. So
I hope you guys have fun.
Oh, they will. They will. So we're going to talk about today, and it's all about finding the right connection, courting your connections, really.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, so we're going to give you some dating tips in the meantime.
In the process. So a 2-for-1.
2-for-1 today. So just a few little housekeeping notes before we start. We're going to be about half an hour. We've got time for questions. If you do have to sign off, though, don't worry about it. We are recording this. So we will send you guys the presentation, we'll send you the slides, and you'll have all the links from last week up there as well. And in case you did join us last week, you've noticed we've got a new meeting platform. Surprise! So we switched from GoToWebinar to Join.me just for a better experience for you guys, because this is just kind of awesome. So yeah, and feel free to ask any questions. As I mentioned, there's a chat bubble there. Just click on there, and we're going to answer them at the end. So feel free to just throw them out there. And let's just get it rolling, Michaela.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, this is Michaela.
Hi, guys.
Michaela is a social media guru and is our social media manager here at the Better Software Company. And she is amazing. She's got a great background in social media, reputation management. She's won multiple awards for her work in the industry. And she's going to take you on a fun and easy to digest journey today. And you guys, if you can see us, we are on Periscope. Michaela's got some awesome braid game going on today, as usual. She's also a fan of Dub Smash. And what's your favorite kind of soup, Michaela?
My favorite kind of soup is wine.
All the wine.
All the wine.
Any kind of wine. And I'm Andrea Banks. I'm going to be your host here today. And I'm a content creation wizard here at the Better Software Company. I've been working with small business owners and building communities for about 6 years. And I love talking about connecting socially. I also love corgis and mojitos, and especially corgis drinking mojitos.
Who doesn't enjoy both of those together in one?
Right. All right. So let's get right into it here.
All right.
And talk about what we learned last week, Michaela.
So very first recap, which is exciting. We love milestones here. So our very first recap from last week, we talked about the most popular social media channels and the demographics for each, so how your small business can leverage each of those channels. We also talked about the 3 magic W's. And for those that are just tuning in, the 3 magic W's are 1, who, as in who will be managing your social media presence, where, as in where do you want to become active, and why, as in why do you want to launch your social media presence?
All very important questions.
Very.
We covered a lot last week.
We did.
It's intense.
And just to make your lives easier, hopefully you guys have decided to dive right into the world of everything social. So we put together a nifty social media business page checklist that you can download at the link below. And as we mentioned in previous episodes
we've only had one other one.
Yes, we do send out the slides, so don't worry about jotting down the URL. All of the information that we give you, all the resources that we give you are free. So I absolutely encourage you to download this checklist, and we basically set out each of the channels. And depending on what your business is using, we have a list, almost like a packing list when you're going on a trip.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, they're super handy. So it just kind of shows you, do you have a high resolution logo? Check. Do you have your business information, your phone number, your address, all that good stuff? So just to make sure that you're starting on the right track.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome tool.
Thank you. New stuff. Who doesn't like brand spanking new things? So this week we have a lot of new stuff going on. We have the recording from last week's webinar, and it's available on our YouTube channel, and the slides are also available. We'll send that link out to you as well. We're on Periscope right now, as we mentioned before, and this week we'll be launching our very first Twitter chat after the webinar. So that's going to be going on from 3 to 3:30 p.m. So you can ask us any questions at all about your company's social media presence or advice on how to rock your presence online by just hashtagging your questions with hashtag BetterBizBootcamp. And just to clarify, the questions that you ask us don't need to be related to this webinar or last week's webinar. If you just want to say, hey, take a look at my page, let me know what you think. If there's anything else I can be doing, we'd be happy to help you with that.
Dating advice. Just kidding. I don't know. We probably have pretty good dating advice, but this one is all about social. So even if you just want to watch it, go online and see what's happening. It might be a great place. Last week we talked a lot about researching. Get some research done on there.
Absolutely. And just a quick plug, so we actually have a social media for small business guide. It's called How Your Small Business Can Do Social Media Better. Again, it's absolutely free. If you can download it at the link below. And once again, you do not need to jot these down because we're making your lives easier by sending you out all the slides and the recording so that you can kind of just click on it at your whim.
Awesome. So lots of resources for people, lots of takeaways. We really want to help you make your business better.
Andrea, who doesn't like presents?
I love presents.
Even better when they're free, right?
Free and useful.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to get right into it.
Okay, so we kind of have mentioned already hashtags. And something that came up last week often is that people were asking, okay, Mikhail, slow down.
Right.
What is a hashtag? And, I'm guilty of that often, just working in the field, that there's things that you guys need to know, the lingo and things that come up often in social media that maybe you don't have a clear definition on what it all means. So we're going to break it down for you right now. We're going to throw out all the acronyms that you might come across, any of the lingo, the language of social media before we get into this week's material.
Love it.
So
okay.
let's do this.
Let's kick it off.
All right, so IRL. IRL stands for in real life.
Yeah, it does.
And it is often used by users when they're kind of referring to I am friends with that person, IRL, meaning in real life, or I am dating that person in real life. Maybe they have an online relationship, something like that. So again, it's just a way to differentiate the offline world versus the online world.
Awesome, because there are some people that literally live online.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes you got to clarify.
Yes, exactly.
I like it. All right, what is this one?
Ooh, this is one of my favorite hashtags. So TBT, it stands for hashtag Throwback Thursday. So this is a day-specific hashtag, and it is used by users. So users will update old photos or videos that evoke a sense of nostalgia. I really, really love this hashtag for businesses.
Yeah.
So just as an example, some of the posts that we've done are our office before and after, our team. If your team is growing, you want to show what it looked like in the beginning. Maybe it's just you, and now you have a team of 15.
Awesome.
Rock on if that's you.
Yeah.
You can also, what I find really cute is when you have a baby photo of the CEO or the founder versus now. I think that's adorable. It's a really great way to give a human touch to that corporate brand.
I love it. TBT is probably my favorite.
TBT.
I really enjoy it. Absolutely. And let's see where we're at next.
For the win. Yeah. FTW just stands for the win. It's basically a virtual fist bump.
Yes, I feel like Obama likes this hashtag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's short, it's sweet, it's fun. FTW.
FTW.
All right, let's see. Where are we going next here? Oops, sorry.
I don't know.
You don't know where we're going. I don't know where we're going either.
IDK stands for I don't know, and it's just one of those things that has been shortened, usually on Twitter because of the limited number of characters that you can have. So it's just a great way to shorten I don't know into something that's easier to understand.
Right, especially when we're talking Twitter or, where you have a limited number of characters.
Exactly.
Shorten that stuff down. All right.
Exactly.
Coming up next.
Ooh, this one has been around. I think it actually predates social media.
For sure.
If you already know what this means, shame on you.
Shame on me. Shame on me. This has definitely been in the subject line or two of emails I've received.
All right. So NSFW stands for not safe for work, and it's used as a heads up for content that could get you into hot water because it is not PG.
Oh no.
So if you see this, it's a red flag. Do not open it at work unless, you are your own boss, which awesome, great perk.
Yeah, lucky small business owners, many of them are. So you go ahead and open that NSFW email. No judgment here.
All right. Hashtag FF. Hashtag FF stands for Follow Friday. And it's another one of those hashtags that originated on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And on Friday, users will share their recommendations with their fans on who they should be following. So this is a really great way to share recommendations. Maybe, last week you guys were looking at, your industry leaders. That would be a great thing to do on Follow Friday, to talk about those industry leaders, because you're also kind of capturing their audience as well.
I love it. And we're going to be this, you can totally use this hashtag this Friday, guys, because we're laying down the information about finding those connections, and what a great way to share the love.
Yeah.
So that's something, put that in your back pocket, because you can definitely be this week. What's BTW?
BTW is just a lazy way to say it, by the way.
Do people say this in real life? I feel like I have heard people say this in real life.
I think I might have said it once or twice.
That person is you that I'm thinking of. Okay, all right. I'm okay with it. I like it.
Yep.
What else?
Ooh, this one comes up a lot. And I think this one is more recent, actually. So this stands for shaking my head, and it is generally used when a user does not agree with something or is offended by something. It's essentially a virtual eye roll. So if you posted something and this was your reaction from somebody, it's not a good thing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no. We were talking about how, these are all acronyms that are great to know. You don't necessarily want to be using them yourself.
No.
Especially IDK. Do not be posting that business on your social media account. But it is, just so you know what your customers are saying. You want to know the lingo, and we always say knowledge is power. It's going to make you feel a little less scared.
Oh, yeah.
When you know what this
stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you go online and see all this stuff on Twitter, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
How do I join this conversation? So we're laying down the knowledge for you. All right.
This is another one. It's just a shortened version of in my opinion, IMO.
Awesome. I like that. Oh, little tidbit about this. Sometimes you'll see this in people's actual profiles.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're working for a big organization or a group of people, they might have this in there because they want to say, okay, so my tweets are in my opinion. They're not necessarily the opinion of, my employer. So it might be worth having a discussion. If you do have multiple employees and they are using Facebook for personal reasons, you might want to chat with them about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right.
Moving on. You guys got through the acronyms. Congratulations. Now we're moving on to the lingo. So a hashtag. A hashtag is a word that's preceded by the pound symbol. The original purpose of a hashtag is to categorize content into searchable tags for users, but you will also see hashtags that are used for comedic purposes as well. For example, I only care about pizza and like 2 people.
That's a good one. I like it. So a lot of times I think as a kind of newbie to social media, you're like, what is this business? Like, why are these people hashtagging a million things after they post something?
Right.
And so you're saying, Michaela, it's a great way to be able to search for things and categorize your posts.
Absolutely.
And then throw in some hilarity every once in a while.
Everybody needs a little laugh.
I agree. Tell us about feeds.
All right. Believe it or not, Andrea, a feed has absolutely nothing to do with food.
Oh, bummer.
I know. A feed is a home base where the user can receive news and updates in real time and engage in interesting content.
Okay, awesome. So this is like, kind of like your notifications or something like that. It's digestible to see what's going on.
It's the hub of your news and updates.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, and tell me what a handle is other than, what is on a cupboard.
Or on a face, handlebar mustache. A handle is a username on Twitter. It's really, it's that simple.
Okay, all right. So don't panic if someone's like, what's your handle? Now you
know
know
what your username is.
Now you know. And what is this tweet nonsense?
The tweet nonsense. When somebody posts a status on Twitter, it's called a tweet. And if that tweet is shared by another user, it is called a retweet.
Okay, not as complicated as some people might think.
that
people are like, oh my gosh, what is this business? So you're really just sharing the love with a retweet. So what a great tool to be able to, either encourage your peers that are on Twitter or, people that you're following in general. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to hear about this next one because let me tell you, I confuse these two all the time.
You're not the only one. So direct messages, there's 2 different versions. They're essentially the same thing. When somebody sends a message or you send a message directly to another user on either Twitter or Instagram, it is referred to as a direct message. Whereas if you send a direct message to another user on Facebook, it's called a private message, PM. So you might see those two. They're pretty interchangeable. They're the same thing. And you know what? Probably eventually they will become the same thing.
I hope so. This is absurd.
It's pretty, it's silly.
Like, let's just come up with one set of jargon instead of two, because that is just so confusing. Thank you for explaining. What about a like?
A like is when you click on a thumbs up icon on Facebook, or the heart icon on Instagram or Twitter. You are liking that photo. It's basically you are approving the content.
Okay, cool. I think we just had a new user join us. If you guys don't mind just muting your microphone, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so moving on. Michaela, I am like so wanting to hear about what this viral business is, because, you know, everyone's talking about things going viral. Tell me about it.
Yes. So something that is viral is a story, a post, or a tweet that is organically and rapidly shared on an enormous scale.
Ooh, are we viral?
No, we haven't gone viral yet. So just to clarify, if you have a photo that, say, you know, you have 100 likes on that photo, or 200 or 300 even, it does not mean that that photo has gone viral. It needs to be shared organically. So again, going back to if it's something that's paid, it's a sponsored post or a boosted post, then again, that is not organic. So it is not a viral post.
Too bad. I wish we were viral. Maybe one day.
One day. And for the right reasons, because you can go viral for, especially as a business, for the wrong reasons as well.
Totally. Can you give us an example, Michaela, of something that you've seen recently that's gone viral?
From a business? Oh, a really great example that I like is it was a car company. It was I don't know if it was a sales company or a rental company in the States, and they actually took their security footage and posted it online.
What?
Yes. So it was basically them just making fun of the pizza delivery man and them not tipping him.
Oh, no.
And anyways, the story completely backfired on them. It was a YouTube video. That went viral. And I'm not sure what happened with the business after that, but it's not good.
So viral is not something you should aim for.
No. Let's just focus, again, on starting small and just throwing out great content and hoping that it's liked and shared.
Okay, awesome. We talked a lot about this last week, starting small. I think it's super important. Awesome. Okay, next up.
All right. Well, we were going to play this video, but we don't want it to be too choppy for you guys. Yeah. But this is a really great example of social networking in real life. It's a social experiment. It's hilarious.
So funny.
But definitely we have the URL for you, and we also hyperlink this video so you guys can watch it on your own time. It's pretty short. It's only about 3 minutes, but it's a really great actually it's a really great recap of what we're going to talk about, and it's a funny way of displaying that information.
I love it. Awesome. Sounds great. And I task you guys to go try this in real life after you watch this video. Remember that.
Please, and send us the video.
Yes. All right, so here we're starting up here, 5 tips for courting your connections.
Okay, so are you guys ready to talk about taking your social media relationships to the next level?
I know I am.
Great.
Tell me.
So since this week is all about courting your connections, I've dug up the best IRL dating advice I could find on the interwebs and related it back to social media to make things a little bit more fun, a little bit more engaging and digestible.
Love it. Okay, so we're getting dating tips and social media tips
all
at once. I love it.
Okay, so these are the top 5 tips that I found in the dating world and how they relate to social media. So number 1, listen and learn. Number 2, don't rush into things too quickly. Number 3, first impressions are everything. Number 4, let your friends set you up. And number 5, be exactly who you are, even though it means you'll get rejected.
Awesome. So we're going to go through these.
Let's jump right in.
All right.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to our webinar. I know that was a terrible impression. I can't be good at everything.
One thing you guys should know about Michaela is she rocks the impersonations, I should say. So
rocks is an overstatement, I think.
No, it's great. Stay tuned to our Instagram. You'll see some of them at some point, I'm sure.
I think there's one today.
There might be.
Okay. So listen and learn. The biggest pro about going social is that you have the opportunity to learn more about your prospects than ever before. So whereas at a brick and mortar shop, you're limited to body language and someone's physical appearance, in the online world, you can find out your prospects' interests, their hobbies, how often they're online, who their buddies are, and sometimes, and I know this is creepy, but especially on Instagram, what they eat for brunch.
That's me, guys. I always Instagram my
Guilty
food.
as charged.
I can't help it. It's just so entertaining. And I think a great point about this is that oftentimes business owners are, a little bit worried about taking it online because they are like, oh, but inline is so genuine and I get to learn all these things about my customer. But really, there's like this wealth of that exists.
It really is.
Online.
So the key is to be attentive and examine these clues to success. And oftentimes you can figure out new products and services that you should be offering, and maybe even find some content for your website or blog to target your demographic.
Awesome. Sounds great. All right, moving on.
Number 2, don't rush into things too quickly.
This is great advice.
Last week we talked a little bit about how social media is a conversational tool and not a sales megaphone. And I really want you guys to understand this. If there's anything that you can take from this entire series, it is that social media is not a sales megaphone. Huge.
Best advice.
So in the past, your customers might have seen your ad in a newspaper or on TV in a commercial, or they saw a sign driving by and stopped in. Social media is not the digital version of that. You cannot expect your prospects to fall in love with your company at first tweet. Like any relationship, it takes time, it takes effort, and most importantly, it takes commitment to showing people why they should become a customer and not just telling them to.
That's really, really great advice.
All right, number 3.
We love this guy.
I hope you guys know who Phil Dunphy is.
He's pretty awesome.
We love our Modern Family. So first impressions are everything. How many times have you decided to eat at a restaurant and then check them out online and changed your mind because of poor customer service or negative reviews? You really need to make your reputation management a priority for your business. And guys, I know that a lot of you are probably cringing at the very thought of negative reviews. This is something that keeps small business owners up late at night.
Absolutely.
And we both have experience with reputation management. And what I want you guys to know is that these negative reviews are just a fact of life. Especially for small businesses, it doesn't matter how hard you rock, and we know that you guys rock so hard.
Yeah, you do.
You're always going to have customers that are unhappy and they're voicing their opinions online. There is a silver lining. So this topic has been researched in great detail lately, and the good news is that people are paying just as much attention to the owner's response as to the original review itself.
Absolutely.
So just putting this in other words, this means that you have the opportunity to turn a negative into a positive by responding appropriately and showing off your customer service skills.
I love it. And one thing that I always go back to is you can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time, and you don't want to. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, about, kind of reaching out to your group of people, your tribe, if you will. And it's totally a fact of life.
Yeah.
And I've seen it time and time again. People will write a negative review. Savvy business owners will go in there and say, I'm really sorry about this experience. Can I make it up to you? Please ask for me when you come in next. And they go back and they have this awesome experience to write about. So I think, it really does work.
And one of my tips here is that, and I know that especially with small business owners, you are so emotionally invested in your business, as you should be. And if you find it too difficult to tackle this from an objective perspective, find somebody else that can, because realistically, it is a great opportunity to, again, show off your customer service and gain new customers that maybe you wouldn't have gotten before.
Absolutely. I know when I go on Yelp or a review site and I see a business owner that has responded, I'm much more likely to go check out their restaurant.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, wow, these people actually care. And I think all of these services are free.
Yes.
They're free to claim your account. It's, it doesn't take a lot of time. And we've actually, I think we just wrote a great piece on this, didn't we, Michaela?
Well, Andrea did, so Andrea's pretty excited about it.
A guide to reputation management. So that's in your toolkit that you guys are going to have access to. And it's just kind of a cheat sheet and breaking it down about how important it is and that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
So, all right, moving on. Ooh, this is another good one.
All right, you guys got to let your friends set you up. Have you met Ted?
Another great TV show.
I love it. So who are your company's advocates? Are they customers? Are they friends? Fans? Team members? Let them know to follow you on whichever social media channel that you are part of and to share your content. And another tip I have is if you are a business to business and have a list of companies that you would like to connect with, leverage LinkedIn by checking out connections and comment and requesting an introduction. This is a great way to network in a very social media savvy way.
I love it. And you can do it in your pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
We are always fans of doing anything you can in your pajamas.
Absolutely. Why not? Social media.
I love it. That's a great tip. And it's a great tip in real life too, All right, what about this one, Michaela?
All right, so this is, out of all of the tips that I had for today, this is the most important. Be exactly who you are, even though it means you'll get rejected. Anytime that you have the chance to be a unicorn, be a unicorn.
I agree. A zebra unicorn in this case.
Something that's so great about small businesses, and the thing that attracts people to shopping local and supporting local is the fact that, small businesses, your heart and your soul goes into your work. There's a story behind it. There's people and faces behind it.
Absolutely.
And you're so unique and you're so different from the big boxes and the big corporations, and you really got to let that shine online. So social media is all about storytelling. You need to know what your story is and don't stray from it just because you're in an online atmosphere. Your story should always stay the same no matter where you tell it. So just as an example, if you're a food truck that's specializing in everything bacon, well, your clientele is not likely to be, a yoga instructor or a vegan. And guess what? That's okay.
Totally okay.
That is okay. Focus not on pleasing everybody and only on the demographic you're most likely to transform into delighted customers.
I love that piece of advice. I think it's so important, and we're going to harp on this. This is the other thing I think you take away from this webinar series is tell your story. Don't be trying to please everybody. Don't try and be another horse. Try and be a unicorn. Stand out.
There are so many dark horses.
And the cool thing about social media now is that people can actually, they never, maybe vegans, 20 years ago didn't have a platform to connect on, or, whoever your group may be that you're trying to market to, or bacon lovers, I should say, not vegan. But they didn't really have this kind of communication tool before. So these people are going to seek you out.
Yeah.
So, be confident in that and know that, you will find your crew.
Yeah, your crew is waiting for you.
I like it. Awesome.
All right, so this is our second Better Bootcamp exercise.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to Google yourself. Woo!
Oh, man.
I don't know if you guys have done this. I find a lot of companies haven't, and this is really important, and not just this week, but something to do on a consistent basis, because you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward and you're making the best first impression that you possibly can. So it's really important to put your mind in the mind of a customer and follow the path that they're going through and get inside their brain. So Google yourself, write down what comes up, and discuss it with your partner or team. How could you make a better first impression to potential customers when they search for your business? And then part 2 of this is develop a proactive plan to rock your first impression. And what I mean by that is that although it's fantastic and very important to be responding to negative reviews, it's also just as important to have a proactive plan where, say that you host a charity event or you have a charity that's very near and dear to your heart.
Right.
Be posting about that. Be telling that story. If you have a great corporate culture and you guys have a ton of fun at work, take photos, take videos, post that as well, because trust me, there will always be somebody that's unhappy. There are PR crises that happen with every business.
Right.
And when those things happen, all that information, all that presence that you had beforehand that you use proactively is really going to help take off that negativity.
I love that advice. You're right. Every small business owner, every, company in general, even the biggest companies have crisis,
all the time.
So plan for it.
Yes.
And create this backup content. And then, right now, so if you do, depending on the size of your business, you might Google yourself and find nothing.
Yeah.
And so,
that's also not good.
That's also not good, right? So you also want to be drumming up that content, and I love it. That's exciting. And just so you guys know, you can always get in touch with us if you have questions about your exercise.
Let us know what you found out when you Googled yourself.
This is so much better than having to do 25 burpees and 15 push-ups and this is much easier, I think, homework-wise, personally.
I hope so. Again, questions and comments, you can follow us on Twitter. Again, we're having our Twitter chat today from 3 to 3:30. You guys can throw any questions that you have at all. This is 100% free advice. and consultation for you guys to take advantage of from 3 to 3:30 today. You can tweet at @4bettersoftware. You can email us anytime at all at social@thebettersoftwarecompany.com with any questions about how to make your small business go social. And again, one more plug, don't forget to download our free guide to how your small business can do social media better at the URL below, because again, a lot of the content, not all of it, but a lot of the content that we're talking about is all captured in that guide.
And how great to have like an actual piece of paper that you can look through.
I still like having the piece of paper.
Oh, maybe you can make notes, maybe even a fun thing, print it out now, bring it to the webinar next week, make notes when we're talking.
Absolutely.
Great resource to have there. Love it. And where else can our listeners find us, Michaela?
Andrea, we are everywhere.
We really are.
We are everywhere. So you can find us on Facebook at /BetterSoftwareCompany. You can tweet at us at 4bettersoftware. We're super active on Instagram at The Better Software Co. You can look us up on YouTube or LinkedIn at The Better Software Company. And you can also find us on Pinterest at /BetterSoftware.
I love it. And, this is a good lesson when you're looking at our social media handles, if you will, here. They're all different, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of small business owners, like from Jim's Crab Shack,
mm-hmm.
there might be 80 Jim's Crab Shacks out there. So unless you were on Twitter in circa 2007,
like
2008,
prime real estate.
yeah, there's little chance that you're going to get exactly the handle that you want, kind of like the exact domain name you want, right? So come up with some creative ways of doing that, and it's okay that you're not, the only Jim's Crab Shack out there.
Jim's Crab Shack.
Jim. You can be like Jim's Crab Shack 007 or something.
Why not? Be the best Jim's Crab Shack.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love it. All right, so we do have some time for questions. So if anyone has got any questions, you can click on your little chat icon. And we've got one from Kate here. Hi, Kate. Thanks for joining us. Kate wants to know if we're planning on doing a session on ROI for social media marketing.
Ooh, great question. So the way that we have it set up right now is that we're kind of going from beginner to more intermediate. So again, that's why we're doing kind of like the boot camp.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys learn more and more as we go along. And definitely we will be covering ROI in later episodes.
So stay tuned, Kate.
We got you, Kate.
Absolutely, we do. All right. Is there any other? You guys can in your little chat, you can do at all, or you can do at Andrea or at Better Software if you don't feel like sharing your question with the whole group. And we've got we've got another one here. Okay, this is kind of an intense one, but I like it. All right, Julie. What steps should I take as a small business owner when I receive a negative review?
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Every business owner's worst nightmare.
It really is. So I would recommend, first of all, going on YouTube and finding the funniest video you can find, watch it for a minute to kind of get over that whole negative, that awful feeling that you get when you see that first review.
Oh, it's the worst.
It is. So once you've done that, we actually have a formula that we use here and then also other places I've worked at. I've always followed. It's kind of a 3-step approach. So first you acknowledge the fact that the person has taken the time to share their opinion, because sometimes it's things that you had no idea about.
Right.
It's a way that you can improve your business, and even if it's not, it's still important to acknowledge that their voice has been heard.
Sometimes that's half the battle, right?
Sometimes half the battle. Next, you're going to talk about what steps you're going to take to correct the situation. So if it's, you had somebody had a terrible service experience, let them know that it's going to be rectified. You're going to speak with that person and hopefully work on your customer service or whatever the issue might be. Number 3, and this really depends on the situation, sometimes it's an apology.
Right.
Sometimes apology, and I actually always apologize right from the get-go. Sometimes you can also use humor.
I love this tactic. This is like what Michaela's really famous for.
But you really have to be careful when it comes to humor, because sometimes, so if just as an example, I don't know if we have anybody from property management on the line, but I worked at a property management company before. So if you have a customer whose apartment is flooding, using humor is probably not the best strategy. But if you have somebody that, they have a minor issue,
right,
you might be able to throw it in there, and it can really, really help to offset kind of the negative vibes.
I think that's fantastic. Michaela's got actually some other stories about how she's used humor. I don't know if we can save them if you want.
Oh, we can talk about it.
I really want to hear about the cat lady.
So, the cat lady.
I know the story. It's so good.
So I did have a customer at one point who was one of those people, and you guys probably have one person that is consistently complaining.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had a relationship at
Yeah.
that point. So
yeah, you did.
we spoke to her, on a weekly basis. Sometimes it was just about, the snow wasn't being removed right away, things like that, especially in the wintertime, property management. That's a thing. And so finally one day I decided to research and use that kind of going back to research your connections, find out more information about their background, their interests, their hobbies, etc. So I found out that she had a black cat. And so again, acknowledged that she had an issue, apologized, all that. And then I also sent her a cat meme, and the cat in the meme actually happened to look like her own cat.
Awesome.
And she thought it was hilarious. It really helped to kind of smooth things over. And I never heard back from her after that. So
probably because she thought it was so funny, and she was like, I can't hate this lovely girl anymore.
Sometimes it's showing that you took the opportunity to find out more about them. And 9 times out of 10, people just want to be acknowledged and feel like they don't have a voice, and they want a voice.
Right, and you're acknowledging them, and you're saying, hey, actually, I know a little bit about you too, and here, here's something to break the tension.
Yes, exactly.
Right? I love it. Okay, we do have one more question here from Steve. What is the best way? Oh, this is a good one. What is the best way to let your advocates know that you're on social media?
Every time I open a social media account, I immediately send out an email to everybody that's on my team.
Oh, okay.
And the reason behind that is that when you're trying to create a community online, your first people that you want to get involved is your team. Your team are going to be the people that are going to build it up from the bottom up. So just to put it in perspective, say that you have 5 members on your team. Mm-hmm. You send out an email saying, hey guys, we're on Facebook now, let all your friends know.
Right.
If each of those people have 500 friends, that's a lot of exposure for your business.
Yeah, it really is.
So it really starts with your company. It starts with your advocates. Email is always a great way to do it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people don't read emails, so you might want to follow up and say, hey, did you read my email? You might just let them know in person. And you know what? Sometimes I take my computer and I show the person, hey, look at all this great stuff that we're doing.
That's great.
And another great thing to do is to incorporate your team members into the content.
Love it.
So that if you're doing videos, if you have team photos, all that kind of stuff, don't send it to them directly. Put it on social media so that they can find it, tag themselves, and then share it with their connections.
Oh, that is so great. I love that. Hopefully that answers your question, Steve. And again, if you guys have any other questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. That was great, Michaela. And what's happening next week? What are we doing?
We're going to let it flow.
Get ready for all the Frozen references.
So, and just to explain a little bit more about that, we're going to be talking about automation. We're going to talk about scheduling. So, because I know you guys are all very, 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 very busy, and you need ways to, if you do have events and things and promotions and all that good stuff coming up, you want to have tools available that can kind of be used in your corner to set up all those tweets and posts ahead of time.
Awesome. I love it. And that might even help answer one of Kate's questions, because we'll probably talk about measuring stuff on there too. So that sounds great. So that about wraps it up for us for today, everybody. And we do hope you can tune in at 3 on our Twitter chat. I think it's going to be super fun. Let's chat. Come hang out with us. And yeah, that's about it. So again, we will send out the slides. We'll send out the recording. You guys will get all the emails from us. And that's it from Michaela and Andrea here at the Better Software Company.
Have a better day.